Hello, all. Welcome back. It's me and my baby Flare. Loving it still. I have some more things that I have tried. I have actually embroidered a project. So, what I'm going to do is actually do it for you all instead of just showing you the outcome of the item because I can't find it at the moment. My messy area. But anyways, so as I mentioned in the previous video, this is video number 4, and so I think it was 3 or 2, whichever one. But I was talking about, how to maneuver, and I was also talking about the embroidered projects that they had on my drive that was already downloaded. So I actually figured out how to um what it was because they looked just crazy looking. But here's what I'll do. I'm actually gonna go to the nope. Oh, and for one thing, I did use my grid. I like it. I love it. Okay. So I'm gonna keep my grid. And I'm still playing with this frame sizing only because I'm not too familiar with it, but yeah. So I do want to keep that frame size. So let me go back. So to get to the memory stick, you're going to actually go here and it's going to tell you, okay, where's your project? It's either on the sewing machine or it's on your stick drive. So, and I still got to figure out what this is. I know the icon, I know what it is, and I just don't know how it's working with my Sheen and the Wi-Fi. I think that's just Wi-Fi on. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about that. So I don't know if my project is here. Let me check. I have 4 pages, as you remember. And let me see. See if it's here. If I saved it. I did not save it here. So we're gonna go back. Hit my back button here. And it takes me back to that. And so it's on my stick. It's on the memory stick. So let me see. Which one was it? B Podcast freebies. Now I've downloaded. These are my 2 files right here. Well, let me go back. These are my 2 files. I downloaded those. It was so simple. This uses a .pes file. So easy to work with. I went to a embroidery company and downloaded some files. I'll probably put that on the next video, but not this one because it's you have to order it and put your information and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna do it on here. But I did download some some things. So I'm gonna go to, I think it was this one that they had. Yes, and I think I went to fairy tales and I went to design, and I these are just, it's all under this particular folder. Is this it? Yes, this is it. So I think I chose this. Now, do you see what they look like? They look kind of funky, right? But what I'm gonna do is once I select one, let me go through. There's 10 pages of them, and as you can see, I know you really can't tell, but it's like a front and a back. And I don't know what it actually is because some of them, what it does is, you see those? So I'm gonna back up, and this is how you get back out your file. You do not hit this back button here. You go up to this folder and you back out like that and back out like again. You see? And it goes to, and you're back. I'm back on this screen. All right. So it has like, I said I was going to show all these. And that's in this folder. These things are there. I do know what to do with them now. It's amazing. Okay, so I didn't, because I'm new to embroidering. I I'm so amazed. I really am. So I'm gonna go back to, and again, these things look funky, crazy. Let's look at them on my TV screen. Remember, you see that? I actually figured out how to. I was trying to touch my phone, but I figured out how to use these lines, add lines, subtract lines, to go to each step when you want to layer your embroidery design. So I don't know if I have time on here to go through each step, but this whole thing explains how each steps occur when you are embroidering. So I'm gonna back out of this. I'm already into 6 minutes. I'm gonna back out of this. I don't want that. And we're gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back to those little teddy bears or whatever. And they look crazy, but it's called Fairy Tale. I think it was Fairy Tale. Let me go to the next one. Hand sanitizer. Oh, and this right here, I like this too. The one that says hand sanitizer. These are little pouches that you can make that comes with the machine. I had no clue. I just knew that they looked like popsicle sticks. That's all. I read it, but I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. But it's a design which you can make little um little pouches for your hand sanitizer, for the little small mini hand sanitizers. I am going to try that, but not this go around. Hopefully it'll do me some justice. Sorry for the blurriness, but I'm gonna go to this Fairy Tale here and design brother baby lock. So, and I figured out brother and baby lock. Okay, I had no clue because I'm a Brothers fan. I have a brother serger. I have a brother sewing machine / embroidery. Baby lock is this is my very first baby lock, and again, I love it. I've always wanted one. Because it's a baby lock. But anyway, so they correspond with each other. I did not know you can use certain things from the baby lock on with your brothers. I had no clue. So, but anyway, so I'm going to choose this little teddy bear looking thing here. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Oh, that's the back of it. We don't want that. I don't want that. I want it. Okay. I want the front of it. And from the looks of it, it's like a girl and a boy. See? And I don't know what that is. I don't remember which one I use. Okay, that's the front and back. I'm playing. I'm trying to figure out the one that I used last time. And I want to look at it. Let's say this one, okay? Yes, this is it. This is the one I used. Okay. And I hit okay because this is what I'm going to actually use to embroider. Okay. Hit okay. And you saw my frames over there. And those are the two frames that if I enlarge it or if I keep it the same, maybe a little smaller, it fits in that frame. It cannot go to a smaller frame. Okay. Hit set, and there it is. Okay. So, and I've of course I've already turned on the machine, so my embroidery frame is out. So I have it here. And again, like I said, I like the grids. Excuse me. At first, I did not because I thought it just made viewing my image like horrible. But no, it's an advantage because I get to, when I move it, say I want to do maybe like 2 or 3 of these. and I want it to fit the frame perfect. Or I want to do letters or writing, and I want them all to be in a row to save space, to save time, to make sure everything is lined up. You line it up. It's like grid paper. Bottom line, you line it up, you get it right. And that's what this is for me. So actually, I'm going to bring her down here. And when it said fairy tale, um, I believe this is like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, because as I went through the items, there was a it was a little blonde-headed, curly hair, little female stitch out project. So I'm thinking when it said fairy tale, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and then there was a fox, and there was a little pig head. So yeah, I'm gonna say, and then So okay, so let me pause this, and because I want to set up my frame, and get my um material together so that I can start embroidering. So fun. Oh, and as you can see, when I moved it, it went to the large frame, and so I don't want the larger frame. I want to bring it right there, right here, maybe. Okay, so get over here. There we go. Did you see that change? So if it's over here, let's do a move with this. So if I move this over, 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 watch that frame up here change. The further I move it over, closer to the border of the frame, it changes. So we're gonna bring it back in, because I want to use that smaller frame, because I don't want to use a lot of material, because this is a small project. Okay, it's gonna change as soon as it changes back over to its there. Okay, so got it, and I want to bring it down some until it's not okay. See, and I don't want that frame. There we go. So I want it to the bottom of the next to the large frame. Okay, so I'll be right in a second. Back, pause. Okay, so I have my frame and stabilizer set. Still have my image, and I have it where I want it. And so now I can play with like the sizing, which I don't know if I showed this part, but let's just, well, I know I'm gonna have to move it over, but let's just say I want to make my sizing larger, and I still do not want that frame. So what I want to do is center the image. I'm hoping that yes, it goes back into that frame. Okay, great. Because on the last one I did not size it. I just did it and just to see what it does. This thing is awesome. Okay, so I have it sized, I have it centered where I want it. And this right here, I found out what my numbers are. So I wanted to, set it like, say I wanted to make 2 of these, and I took this one here, and it's on that line. Then once I make a copy, I can put that copy, switch on this side and use these numbers to line it up exactly in the same area, so that it can balance out, or use the, maximum space of your frame. Or, say if you, like when I did on the last video and I had the back and the BJD, BJC, whatever it was on there. I can, if I wanted to make a copy of that, I could have like lined it up in the exact same place. So I just dropped my pen, but anyway. So anyways, I want to put this back down here. It is, again, touch screen. I'm back on my frame again, and this is where it's centered. It's on the, it's in the center of the frame, and that's all these numbers here in the center. That's the lineup. And she looks like that, right? And she's going to be printed on this frame, and this is how it's going to look in that frame. Okay. Had I chosen the larger frame, it would have done that. And another thing, so we're gonna hit okay. If that frame was not to fit, say it was over here and the frame went out, it would let me know to change frame. So like I'm gonna say okay, and I have, like I said, I have my smaller frame in. If I hit end and in edit, there it is. It's gonna tell me to change to my larger frame. Okay. Yep. I love it, love it, love it. Still loving it. So I'm going to bring her back down here. And these are my thread colors. I don't know if I ever showed this. I have no clue. But this is cool also. And I don't know. Let me see. How many do I have? Oh, wow. It's a lot. So this, remember the thread color. That's all I want to tell you. Remember changing the thread color section, okay? It'll be once I embroider or start embroidering this outline of different things, because this is showing me my very first outline. This is going to be the outline for placement, okay? It's already installed, but it taught me how to set up when I get ready to embroider, and it's just perfect. So you're gonna start out with whatever frame you actually want your image in. So say it was a circle or the heart, a star, but a star is not on here. Anything, whatever shape it was, and your outline placement piece is where you're gonna say, hey, this is gonna be here. It's gonna be this particular size, okay? And you're gonna stitch it out, and whatever it's telling you colored threads, but you don't have to use it. Like I have white thread in here at the moment, and I think I'm just gonna play with that because white is basic. So and then it's the second frame. So my second frame, and I think I better, yeah, I'm gonna explain it all here and then show you later once I actually start the work. So this is the second, and get it up off of there. So this is the second one, and what this is the placement of, say, your background, maybe a fabric, or whatever applique you want to put down as your background, the fabric and all that good stuff. So, and then now this is actually going to stitch out um this area here. Okay, I don't know if I can't point, my pen dropped. Oh, let's use the pencil. So this is going to stitch out this area here, and I think the paws and this little V of her collar. Okay, can you see that? So let's look at that again. Okay, can you see the outline? And so that lets me know what color thread I want that. Sorry about the blurriness. It's telling me what color thread I'm using for those outline stitches. Okay, and this is I can back that up again. Let's back that up. Oh, I changed colors, did I? I did. I changed the colors. So as you can see, I accidentally changed colors, but maybe you needed to know that. So, you can change the colors of it. That's just shifting, changing colors. It's not moving anything. This is what's changing. And it's telling you the thread color up here. And that's it. And if you want to change the thread color, there you have it. Okay? And how you want it in those, the different, I think the stitch or the thread. I don't know which. Still I'm playing with this again. I got to figure that out because I have not play with it. I don't know what embroidery is. So let me see. Go back to my poly. There we go. All right. So now to the next one, which will be, so the first one you just saw. Let's change the color here so I can do the difference. So the first one you saw was, it's the same printout, right? Different thread, same printout. That's another outline. So when you place your fabric down or whatever, it's going to show you, you know, where to place your fabric, and you outline it. And I purchased the embroidery, these scissors. They call, I don't ask me what. They're duck something, and they're for cutting out appliques. Okay, so I did purchase those. Amazon. Again, so that's the second one. Once it goes here for the second one, you lay your fabric. Again, I'm gonna show everything. You're gonna lay your fabric down over this time the second outline, and it's gonna stitch down the fabric. So it's just awesome. I can't even really explain. I have to show you. So now we're on this portion of the embroidery picture. Okay, we're on that part and the arm part. See, can you see that really good? All right, and that's that one. I don't want to get too close because I'll change something. And then you have the pants or middle section. Don't know what that is, but anyway. But so as you can see, I'm gonna go through real quick and just look at everything. I'm changing it with this right here, which is your thread color. Okay. And that's the upper level. Let's see if this is changing anything. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Nope, it's not. All right. I thought it was changing something. But these are all the steps it's going to go through. Now, so you're seeing all these steps, right? You're going to get the same steps when you stitch out the project, okay? It's going to do this exact same thing. You're choosing the thread color, the thread that you want to use, how you want. This is the name of the thread. Stitching. I'm gonna say. I don't know. I don't want to say that. Erase that. All right. So we got all that good stuff going on. Don't know what that is. White. Well, so we're back at the beginning. So I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to pause it to set it up so I can get it all laid out for you. Okay, I think I'm ready to start now. What I've done was grab some scrap fabric that I have. I just keep a lot of little scrap fabrics around that once I've cut something off. And I just pick them up. They're not going to be cute. It's going to be tacky. Everything. So what I'm going to do is first, I wish I could find the other image. I might, before I start, I can't find him or her or whatever it was, but it was so cute. Matter of fact, hold 1 second. Let me actually find it so I can show you what I printed out, what I stitched out at first. Okay, found him. Isn't this the cutest little thing? So this is what it's going to look like. All right. But it's just, to me, I could have done a better job again, you know, because I didn't place this down all the way. So he has a little shirt tail sticking out of his pants. But and he's sagging. We don't sag around here. But it came out really cute. I'm not gonna change. Well, it's still her, but I ended up making it was a boy. I turned it into a boy because there's a little flower and all the good stuff. You know, look at this. And I used tearaway stabilizer on the back for the backing. And that's what this is, my tearaway stabilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So the first stitch will be this outline here, which is the actual frame. Okay, and this is felt that I'm gonna actually put it on felt again. All right, so I'll be right back. Set it up. All right, I actually have not started yet. because this paper is white and I'm using white thread. So what I'm going to do is actually change my thread color, and this is how I unthread my machine. And I listen for the little pop. Can you hear that little pop? And then just pull it out. I do not waste anything in my room, okay? Nothing is wasted. So I'm going to go ahead and rethread the machine real quick. And yeah, that's it. Hold on. Okay, back, and I'm rethreaded, almost rethreaded. And boop. And this is your standard. I do like the automatic pull down of the presser foot. I do like that when you thread it. And there you have it. Done, done, done. And I usually stick this right in there to pull it underneath, up underneath the presser foot. And I did mention all the threads that, oh, you see it. It filled my drawer all the way to the back. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. 63 spools of thread plus the bobbin thread. That's a plus now. Yeah, good deal, good deal, good deal. And I try to color coordinate them. Okay, now back to the embroidering part. All right, so we're threaded. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Tension is set. All right. So what I'm gonna do is actually, oh, you know, I can't do anything. So I forgot this portion. I'm gonna get out of all this and select and do all that good stuff. So, oh, let me add something. So I talked about adding, but I really want to add this time to go with it. So I'm gonna do what shall we do? What shall we do? These are too big. So do I want letters? Yeah, let's do a letter. All right, it's quick, easy, simple. And, oh, let's do this one. And I want, because I want to make an applique with it. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna do a simple. Let's do J, and it's large. And let's make sure my embroidery frame did not change. It did not. Good. And my J is sitting in her face. So we're going to move it and hit set. And we're going to remember, see, I can't see my J, but remember if we select, there it is there. And to tell if you selected a font, like if you have a picture here, this right here will light up. Okay? If you're not on any type of font, number, whatever, any fonts, it will, this will gray out. Okay, so I have my font and I'm going to move it. I'm in my J. I'm going to move it. Oh, I took it out of the frame, so I don't want it out of the frame. I want it in the frame. How about if I now remember, I chose large, right? Remember I said in the previous video that when you're dealing with the large letter, sorry about the blurriness, when you're dealing with a large letter, it changes the frame quicker. So we're gonna change that font, edit, and we're not gonna do it in here. So hit OK. Don't want it there. Trying to resize. I think it's size. Yeah, here we go. Medium. There we go. We'll do that one. Okay. And see if I can bring it down. Yep, it's taking me out of the frame. So we're going to just make sure, we'll just keep it over there. All right, so that's, it's going to be off to, I don't want off to the side. I want it here so that you can see what's going on. Now keep in mind, this is an extra add-on. So when I stitch, it's going to stitch out all of this picture first. Then it's gonna, the last thing it's gonna do is the J. Okay, so I'm hitting OK because I have it. Remember, we hit add to get the J, and select this to move, which, you know, to wherever you want to work on, whichever item you want to work on. And I'm not gonna worry about changing any colors. Oh, let me show you where my J is sitting at now. See? Ta-da! And we're still able to look at the medium frame, and it's gonna sit like that on it. Ooh, ooh. You know it's a camera, so focus is, oh, look at that. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so we're done. Again, like I said, we're not changing any colors. You know, the J is the J, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why I pulled up the J, because remember, I hit on select. So that's what's going to show up. All right, got it. And we're gonna end edit. So, and it moved. So we're ready to, guess what? We're ready to embroider. So, okay, and then before you start actually embroidering, so say things didn't line up or wasn't looking how you want it to, you can also rotate. Now with this rotation, like I added the J. So if I was in my other screen, my working screen, I would not be able to move the whole image. Okay, this on this screen, once you hit edit end, everything on this whole work frame moves. The whole thing, everything. The J flips upside down. It works with the whole entire thing. And I didn't do this. I didn't show y'all these little half portions and, you know, what this does. I didn't show you that, right? It just does that and that. Cool, right? So we're gonna do this, put her back, Oh, there we go, she's back. And 1, 2, I think it was 3. Yeah, okay. So, and those are just the degrees that I moved it. Whole 90, then a 10% degree, and then 1 if you just want to be a little slightly over. So, hit OK. And actually, should I show you? Yeah, I can show you real quick. I think I got a little bit more time. So say I want to get back to the embroidering portion, or we're gonna get here. So let me show you this. So say if I move, keep in mind, let me hit OK. My J is selected, right? So that's the only thing that's gonna move is the J when you're in the work screen. So if I move something, it's just gonna move the J only. Okay, we're in the other screen. Once you edit, get over there, get over there, get over there, because I want it in there. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm moving it, I'm moving it, I'm moving it. Yes, where I want it. Remember I told you I like the grid lines. I love the grid paper. Yeah. And we're gonna call her J. So we're there. We're gonna go back to edit end. Okay, so again, you cannot, once you're working in this screen, your actual work screen, you can't, it shifts individual items. So your select is there. Once you go to that, you're ready to embroider. You can rotate the whole frame, well, the whole images around, move them wherever you want. See, and to move those all over, I can't, let me see if I can get the whole screen as it does it. So bear with me. You see, if I rotate her all over, it moves the whole frame all over, and it keeps me in the same frame. Okay, so like I can't move it all the way up to the top like I could if I was in my work screen, because this frame is set now. Okay, yay. So I'm gonna center it again. Well, or I can hit center. Okay, that's that. It's another item in here I would like to show. Let me show this real quick, hopefully. Nope. Oh, that's in the other one. I could do it. I forget. Now this I don't know, but I can show you once I start embroidering what that does. Okay. And see, let's do this. This is the to show me the outline of where my images are gonna be. So here's how I play with it. So I do my first movement, which is going to move everything. You know, it's your basic. Telling me how. Oh, that's a large. Oh, I think I cut it too small. Oh, okay. This is the piece I cut out for it. I think I cut it too small. So I'm going to lay my piece under here. I may have to do another cutout. Oh. And I'm going to try that again. See it? Yeah. Oops, it hit me. Maybe. Okay. So I kind of know that that is a little too, this is going to be, my fabric is going to be a little too small for what I'm going to do, maybe. So what I'm going to do is actually go in and resize. Now let me show you a trick that I usually do. I haven't seen anyone do this yet. So in order to actually see where my items are going to sit, I will select the corner of the frame, and of course the indicator tells you where you are, and this is before I put my fabric down, and before I cut my fabric, I will mark it just like this. Okay, that's what I have been doing. Then to go to the other side, all right, I mark it, and this just get a little rough draft of what I want. And again, same deal. That's how I do mine. Okay, and right there. So, and I'm not going to worry about the side lines. I mean the side, because from here to here it's going to fit. You know if you mark from here to there, all of that is one straight line. Okay? So it's really no need to look at that or highlight it. So I'm going back to my center, and I need my other pen. Okay, so these are my markings, right? Those are my markings. The other one is right there. So now I'm going to put my fabric down to make sure it lines up within those markings. Oh, I did good. I did good. Yes. Okay, it fits. We have no problem. So I can remove this now, my fabric piece. And then back to, again, this is the automatic. This is, you moving it for your own convenience. Like if you want a corner, left, top, right, bottom, left, whatever. Okay. There you have it. So now I'm to the embroidery part. So remember that first color and first stitch? We're here. There are going to be 21 steps. I have not completed any. Okay? Not one step. This very first step here, and none of this is touch screen. I like that. It's locked in, baby. Except these two here. Now these two pieces, this here, say I wanted to maybe not do number one. I wanted to skip number one and go to the third step. This is where you move that. I may show that on a later video, because
No, actually, I can show it on. Can I show it on here? I'll show it on a later video, maybe. Okay, because I don't want to run out of too much time or space on my phone. But anyway, so like, or say your stitch broke. If your stitch broke and or you have to rethread your bobbin thread, I didn't check my bobbin thread, but we will be okay because if it happens, then I can show you here if I run out of thread. But say the bobbin thread stopped and your machine said, "Hey, I'm out of bobbin thread," you know, then you can go back maybe one stitch or tap it so many times and go back 5 stitches or just do a whole complete 10 stitches back, and this is forward. Say I, I don't even know. Say maybe you didn't want one particular stitch in there. You skip up 10 little spots. This right here, you skip up a whole 100 stitches, maybe a section, okay? Just part of a section. Say you want to start all over and on one particular frame, you go here. You just I ran out of thread and you started the work and you restitched it and you're like, okay, I don't want it to start in the area right here. Say you didn't want to start right here, and you want it to just do completely all over again. You just hit the 0, whichever frame you're on, and it's gonna stitch all of that. Okay. Look how much thread I'm using for you guys, but it's worth it. We are learning. So this is the first stitch out, right? It's gonna take 1 minute, and I think I can let that play. So remember, none of this is touchscreen. Can't do anything. Just my thread. I can show you this too. This right here is once you end colors. You see that? You end the colors and it cut. I have it set for yes, in the color and cut the thread. I don't have many jump stitches, which I like. So this limit a lot of the jump stitches, and it lets you know how long your tail is from your jump stitches. I like this. Okay? I think. Here I go again. I need to read, but this is trial and error and I'm loving it. I can set my tension, which I have moved my tension. I have tightened up my stitches a little bit. It was like on I think it was 6 or 7. I don't know. It was, but I've moved the tension because I didn't like what it was set on. And here we go. Hit okay. Now keep in mind this is the physical embroidering. So I can't do anything to the screen. I do need to reiterate that. You can't touch this, you can't change this, you can't change any of this. To change, you have to go back to your main work area, okay? And that's to hit that button to go back. We're not doing that. We're moving ahead. So to move ahead, to start embroidering, you first must lower the presser foot. And your light is green. Now I'm getting animated and I have no clue why. So, because I'm excited. Again, this is the outline for that. No need to put a needle down. Like I said, I don't do needle down. There's no need to bring up the bobbin. No need. And usually, I don't know how this is going to work. Let me see. I'm messing with stuff I don't need to mess with. I'm just being extra right now. So I like even when I sew, my thread always goes over to that side, even when I sew. All right, so now you get to see it work. And I am over the paper. This is the outline. It's a tearaway stabilizer. And it's stitching the outline. Okay? And that is, now it's on stitch out number 2. This is where you lay your fabric down now, okay? So say you are getting ready, you want to create your own embroidery design, and you want to lay out your your design, you're gonna get an outline first. That's why I was telling you about the stars, the hearts and things. You're gonna lay out a design first. That would be the first image you hit. Then I won't repeat that again. um Now number two is laying out your fabric over. See, perfect. Just lay out your fabric over. And I told you, we weren't gonna need, like, this came right to the edge of that. Came like almost perfect to the end. Now look how much little bit of more room I have up here than that, than what it shows. Okay, remember the trace out? Yeah, that's and so it gave me a little bit more room. Now I get to lay my fabric down. Sometimes I use my glue stick, and to use my glue stick, I will have to pause this video. So I'm not going to use my glue stick, and I just use your basic Elmer's glue stick. Okay, I'll just use that sometimes just to press it down, so that the fabric won't. I think I better. Hold on. Okay, I did a quick rub of the stick. I mean, literally, that's a little amount. Put it there, just because I don't want to gooey up my thread, nor the I said gooey, or the needle. Okay, so that's stuck there. Place my lid. All right, now this is the second. All right, and you see the thread. So take a look at how the thread does once it starts to embroider. And I'm glad I used a black background. So I'm hitting again. It's let me know to put my presser foot down again, because I have it set up to where every, once it's ended, it snips the thread itself, and yeah, we can carry. Oh, sorry, we can carry on, and no need of hitting needle down, and it automatically cuts the thread itself. So watch that thread. Did you see it disappear? It went underneath there, and we're at go. It's going to do the exact outline, but just minus the little tack that it was doing, and I don't recall what that tack was. And it did a double stitch. Okay, so now it's tacked down. Cool, right? And I love how it moves to position itself for number 3. Okay, now this is going to be an outline as well, so we're here, and I'm going to go ahead and just start it. Press foot down and go. This is just the outline. Okay, and so the next one that I do will probably be, I don't know, I'm trying to see, I want to record everything in depth, but I don't think I will be able to. Now here comes the fun part when I get ready to add the fabric to it, because keep in mind, we're going to be doing this little guy, well, this gal now next. Okay, so those are her paws. It's a teddy bear, so this is, let's say, mommy bear. And her pants, I think those are her pants, I'm not for sure. I think that's a pant. Okay, and that's it. Cutting, and there you go. And that's okay. So now we're on number 4 and the outline. So hold on while I set up everything. Okay, so I'm back. Now keep in mind, these are just outlines. So on the second stitch out, you just cut out a piece of fabric, and I'm doing just regular old scrap fabrics, Now this is for oh, I'm gonna change this because I know this is her paw and this is her paw. So I'm gonna make her like a little, she's gonna be a brown bear. I'm gonna remove this and I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna cut out the pink for her collar. This is the collar portion of it, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's gonna be right up in her neck area here. And see how I put his paws as denim, but I'm gonna put hers as brown, like I did his face, so that that can match. Okay, and the square piece is what you see here at the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna lay some different type of fabric, pink, yeah, on there, so that so she can coordinate. Okay, okay. All right, be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now, as you can see, I just cut out a little scrap piece of fabric just to cover that area. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually glue these down because they're so tiny and I don't want them to get stuck. As you can see, there it's just to cover all of the outline stitches. Okay, and it's gonna be cute once it actually embroider. So when I come back, I'm gonna actually have it embroidering over after I glue the little fabrics down. Okay, be back. Alrighty now, so I'm gonna lower my presser foot, and this is step number 4, and I'm ready to start embroidering. Again, I do like that the layers and how I could just, and the reason why I glue it down because as you can see, you see how that just get close to the little fabric pieces. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that that doesn't go up under the machine because I don't want to stop it. But it cuts the thread and we're going to get started. So I won't run out of time. There we go. And it's just going to repeat the exact same stitch. Okay. Perfect. Up. And okay, over to the next one. Hold it down, baby, hold it down. Ooh. All right. I thought I'm like on the edge of that piece. And oh, okay, got it. Sorry, I had to make sure it didn't go all the way out. Okay. And this one. Okay. Did you see that thread disappear? If not, rewind. It's a sound I do not like underneath there. I do not like that particular sound. Okay, so that part is finished. Now we're on this area. And yeah. So I think I'm going to actually put another, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just going to stitch. I don't know. So we'll figure it out. I don't know what that is. Oh, yes, I do. We'll figure it out. I think I left it as is. It's going to do like a harder stitch. I don't know. What do you think? So let me pause and see what this step number 5 does, okay? Okay, I figured out what it was going to do. I had to look back at the other one that I stitched. It's going to repeat it again, but it's going to put the details of the little paw, the paws. Let's just say foot, okay? The foot. All right. And then it's going to restitch over this, I think. I don't think I have to add anything, so I don't think I have to add any more fabric. That's what we're going to get. Yeah. So, okay. And I guess I could have changed colors. I could have done that. That's what it's changing colors. Don't know why, but there we have it. So let's get started. Lower my presser foot. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? What I'm going to actually do is trim this excess fabric away, okay? I'm going to get rid of all this extra fabric. That's what I'll do. I forgot. Yeah. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I've taken off the hoop, and I've trimmed up the fabric edges, as you can see here. And this is what it's looking like on the back. Ooh. Oh, sorry. The fabric. It's the fabric. Oh, the dust. So now I'm gonna replace it. And Laura, put it back in. Everything is back where it was, so I'm just gonna go for that second. I haven't did anything. I'm still on 5. Okay. Only thing I did was just trim up the fabric so it can do this next stitch out. All right. And we're ready to go. And I'm gonna let this run. Okay. I see what it's doing. Cool. I see. Yeah, I forgot about that. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of little, the fabric lint is going to start because I'm cutting the fabric. These scissors are good. I got that close. I could have cut that up a little bit better, but I didn't. I was going to change the color of the paws. See it's stitching the little paw print. The foot. No, not what I asked. But the paw. Yeah. So that's the pants. Okay. That's the pants. Alright. So the pants are done. And then, oops. It hit me. Oh, that's it. Alright. So now I am one little stitch. Okay. I mean, seriously. It could have, well, it's not mine, but it's theirs. Okay. So we have this as the next stitch. Let's see. I gotta remember. Is it underneath here? Okay. Bear with me, because I am like trying to remember what I actually did. Okay. So that's him. She's gonna be bigger anyway. She's bigger than he is. So let me see. Do I want to add fabric? I think I need to add fabric. So I'll be back. So it's gonna be like right here in this area where it's gonna lay out. Let me see. I may not have to log off. No, I don't think I have to. I mean, this is gonna be pretty tacky. All right, because I'm not actually trying to do anything. This is just all tests, test of what I want. Let me see, how big will this be? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. First, the outline. I think. Yeah, it does outline it first, so I can see. I almost forgot. So let it outline what it wants to stitch. How about I do that part? Okay. Now, all right. Now I can put my fabric piece down. Okay. So this was the first line here. Let me see if you can see that. Come on, focus, focus, focus. This was the first line of this whole area here. This is the line here. So I need my fabric to come down to the second. I don't know if you can see that very well because it's bright. There we go. You can, it needs to come down to the second line. That's where I messed up with Mr. Okay? Because Mr's pants, I said, it's sagging because I didn't bring this down far enough. Okay? Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut out a strap